This is our Caterpillar 304C mini excavator. We bought this off Dirt Perfect. We're in the process of buying it. Rent to own type of thing. We're about a third of the way there, so that's not too bad. We've had it for about a year. It's got 4,236 hours on it, and she's got a few problems. We've got this top roller that we got to replace. She just disappeared one day. You're gonna notice this big hole where there's supposed to be glass. We're gonna do something about that too. And we've got one slopped out quick coupler. We're gonna try our best to weld it up and clean it up and tighten up that quick coupler. That's the thing I'm worried about most, because that takes actual skill. The rest of this is just parts changing. We can do that. There we go. So the old glass is obviously gone, but there's still some cleanup work I need to do this frame before we put the glass on. To do that, this is a Benchmark's abrasive. They call it a surface conditioning flap disc. Almost reminds me like an SOS pad. It's supposed to kind of be like a paint stripper. We'll see what happens here. All right. I'm gonna give her a rub down with some acetone, make sure I get all that rubber residue off of there that the grinder was throwing. By the way, I've never done this before, so at some point you're like, I don't know if that makes sense. Might not. So I'm using Sikaflex P2G, primer-listed glass is what it says, but we're gonna use some Sika primer. And I'll tell you why. Because this fella right here, he sent all of this stuff. And I want to preface, this is not a partnership. He just emailed me one day, he's like, hey, you got a good shipping address? I was like, I do. And then glass showed up. It was just him being kind, supporting us, supporting the channel. And I had some questions about installation, so I asked him. He sent this stuff as well. Just a dude being nice, which is good, because it seems that we're a little shy on that nowadays. So I'm happy about it. And as a shameless plug, even though he didn't ask for one, I'll put a link in the description. And if you want to check him out, check him out. If anything, at least tell him thanks, because do you know how many times I would have done this and screwed it up without some good advice? Probably a lot. He said you got to put the primer on and wait about 10 minutes. I don't know what this stuff's like, but something tells me I should maybe wear gloves. But I'm not going to. So I was told I should primer the glass side as well. Acetone anything off there in case there's any residue. So the video on their website, they put this little tip pattern in here. and we're running it vertical. I saw some do glass. I'm gonna do the frame. I'm convinced if I put it on the glass, I'm gonna end up with a big handful of it when I try to pick that thing up on accident. I think I can put it on the frame, and the way that frame's made, I can use the top end to get it lined up and then gently. Quick check-in. 11 out of 10 on the nervous level for this, because I feel like it's a one-shot deal. But in what world does this make sense? Try to get lined up. Just going around giving it a little, nothing crazy, just kind of squeezing with my palms and allowing that sealant to flow out and spread evenly. That'll be awesome, just talking to myself out loud here. He said 24 hours. And because I have a ridiculous fear that as soon as I put this in the machine, it's just gonna fall right off the frame, I believe we'll probably even wait a little bit longer than that. It's not the neatest glass install, but it is glass installed. As long as an obese pre-hibernation flying squirrel doesn't land in this in the next few minutes, I think we'll be okay.
Following morning, it's still here, so that's something. I get a lot of comments about my floppy bucket on here, and that's fine. A lot of people saying it needs to be fixed, and I agree. A tight bucket, though, is a luxury. We've got to spend money on things that actually keep the machine running, and recently it's been a bunch of hydraulic hoses and issues like that. If the machine doesn't run, it doesn't matter if the bucket's floppy or not. But we finally got the time, and I think we're ahead enough on repairs we can try to address this. There is some movement in the pins. There's a little movement in this pin. And a little movement in this pin here. Don't get me wrong, it needs new pins and bushings there. That costs a lot of money. Again, it's a luxury. We'll get to it when we get to it. Or there's also a lot of movement right there in the quick coupler. That's just kind of the nature of a quick coupler. You gotta think, a pin is fully surrounded by metal, so it's got even wear, and you got a grease zerk, where you can grease that to help prevent the wear. You're only on 3 sides with a quick coupler, and we're not greasing anything there. It's just the nature of the beast with a quick coupler that she's gonna wear out at some point. And this one's been rebuilt, gosh, well, before we were even doing YouTube, if I remember correctly. Never done it before. We're gonna look at some things and see if we can't figure it out. Show you if we look, you're looking in the backside to where it latches on. We got some play there too. So I gotta do a little thinking. I don't know if I want to build up so it sits like that, or build up on the actual latch itself. And we got a gap you could throw a cougar through right here to address. All dirt perfect. This is well before man behind the scenes time. He had another local welder do this. And I think he added this plate to reinforce it. You can kind of see where the torch works at right there. So these are 45 mil pins. I've got some pins made for another project we're going to work on once we get some of this stuff squared away. But luckily I got these laying around. A lot easier to slide that in and test fit things versus a bucket every time. To do this, I got a new tool. It's just a straight die grinder. I got the pneumatic one. It was 50 bucks. They make battery powered ones, they make electric ones. They all seem to be around the $200 range. Considering I don't do this every day, I don't think it's worth paying another $150 for pure convenience. You buy a pneumatic tool for the first time, one thing a fellow wants to check is whether or not it's already been pre-lubed from the factory. This air tool requires lubrication before initial use, so it has not. Surely they put some lube in it when they tested it, but it wants additional. So in case you're not picking up what we're putting down, the whole goal here is we're just trying to get this to tighten up. And to do that, we've got to fill with a bunch of rod, a bunch of weld. We're just running 70/18s. That's per recommendation of Man Behind the Scenes. We talked about like a hard facing rod, but then if you put like a hard facing rod in there, something's got to give when that metal's being used, right? Something's got to give. It's either going to be the pin side is wearing out or the coupler's wearing out. I've got 4 buckets, 8 pins, and another attachment, which will be a total of 10 pins. So either I put a hard facing rod on the coupler and I wear out 10 pins and the coupler stays tight, or my pins that are hardened stay hard and the coupler gets worn out, and then we just have to fix one thing a few hundred or however many hours down the road, depending on the level of abuse we put this thing through. That's kind of the mindset that I had, and I talked to Man Behind the Scenes about it, and he agreed. So we're running 70/18s on this. Even though this is a very time-consuming repair, cost-wise compared to like pins and bushings, it's really not that much, even with the tool that was 50 bucks. The gas in the generator, the gas in the welder, and some rods, I mean, we're probably under like $150. So it's not overall wild, it's just finding the time to do something like this. Keep in mind, battery's disconnected from the machine. Don't forget something like that. I don't know that it really all truly matters, but I do know that I don't want to problem solve any electric problems on the 304, and it only takes me about 5 minutes to disconnect the battery. We'll get a bunch of these passes done, and then we'll show you what she looks like, and we'll go on to the shaping process from there. give you a real good close. There's one spot right there. You see that spot right there? One spot right there didn't turn out exactly how I wanted, but you can see with this super close-up shot how good she looks. So spoiler alert on that side of the frame. That'll be coming up. Anyway, we got some other things to do. Let me get the battery hooked back up and we'll put the bucket on there. Now I didn't build up the back side where it actually comes together yet. There you go, thank you. Okay. There we go. Oh, crispy. Are you guys even on? Yeah, you were. You were on. I was nervous for a minute. Ah, yes. She doesn't yet. Thought that might be a thing, which is why I didn't do the back yet. Look how much better that is. Look at that. We're hitting right there. So I need to clean out some more of the bottom side of that, but look, now all the play is in the pins and the bushings. You guys are gonna be right about your comments for once. That's exciting. Ooh. Oh man. It is right there. It is right there. Look good on these though. We're just gonna keep going down a little bit further with it. Do a few rounds of that until we get her nice and, you know. One of these times I'm gonna walk back here and it's gonna be perfect. It's not this time though. So close. I'm just trying to take my time and check every time, make sure we're not getting off track one way or the other. Imagine putting all this time into it and then getting grind happy on one side when I shouldn't have been. It'd be pretty silly. Look at that. Oh no, we're okay. We're being dramatic. Everything's fine. Okay. A 16th over there, man. It is so much better. Hold on. The bucket itself, now it is in the pins and bushings. The coupler itself, God, that's so much better. Need to dig a hole. Let's just dig random holes in the parking lot, Mike. Let's calm down. So much better. Well, not too bad overall. Not too bad at all. There's still a little, you know, some spots I didn't get full, but it's not like she's not going to wear out again. Not bad. Not bad. Definitely better. That's next. Good $50 investment. I'm sure we can use this for all kinds of things. Forgot to charge all my batteries, so I have to do it the old-fashioned way. That's okay. Track tensioner first. Just a little bit of wiggle room. Oh, what's living in there?
Oh, I shouldn't use my ratchet handle. That's silly. That's silly. Should have lifted this up more to account for the bleed off my boom cylinder. There we go. Bleed off's a real thing. That's okay. Anyway, we're definitely almost bled all the way off to the ground now, but I got this fancy rigging system hooked up. And then bottom of the boom is probably as far as we're going to get. That's plenty though. That gets us up in here to what we're looking for. Well, it's basically what I would call a pinch bolt, but I'm 100% making up that term. Anyway, there's a bolt that runs through. That's split. And we should be able to pull this out and slide the new one in. There's one, there's two, washer, bolt, maybe, bolt, and where that's split right there, I'll take a chisel and drive in there, and hopefully we get enough of a gap where we can get this thing beat out too. Perfect. Just gets sandwiched in between those two chunks of metal, and that bolt just rides like that. And that groove keeps it in there. It's these bearings on the end. There's a bearing that rides here and a bearing that rides there. You can see that snap ring. You can change those bearings out. Oof. Yeah. But you gotta have this barrel. And I couldn't tell you where it's at, so much hope of rebuilding it if you don't have all the parts. So here's a replacement. I just got offline. Nothing fancy. It's not a cat by any means. But that diameter is the same. The distance to the groove is the same. That diameter is the same. Where the barrel starts on there is the same. The diameter of the barrel is slightly smaller than the other side when I checked. But I don't think that's going to be a big issue as long as the track rides on top of this and it provides some sort of upward support. That's the main thing. We should be able to drive this back in. I feel like it ought to be able to take some taps. We're at the back and the bolt went through, so in theory, and I can't pull it out, so we should be in that groove. I'll tell you in a few hours of running. I don't know a torque spec, but I'm sure that's pretty close. Pause. Where's my switch? There it is. Are you using a belt to lift with? I am. You'd be surprised how much these will hold. I am every time. I'm absolutely blown away that it holds. Oh, dig some of this old grease out. Just put it right there. Snug that up. That's good there. It's hard to see the shadow, I know, but it's holding the track up. It's giving some support in the center. We'll run the track around once. I don't even know if you guys can see because of that shadow, but I can't control the sun, so. Go ahead and put this back on just so we got a bucket sitting on here, and then we'll get that windshield installed. So if you remember, the whole reason we had to replace that windshield is the gas shocks that supported it. They don't do anything anymore. They're just useless. The latch came undone when it was overhead one day and slammed down, and where shatter she went. Kat wants $100 for these. Couldn't even get it opened. I was super excited because it's got a part number on it, and I can get it from this company, but then it was like 50 bucks for the strut and 75 bucks for shipping because it's from Germany and nobody seems to stock it. But I took the measurements off this, which it is 500 newtons of force, converted that over to the good old American units, and I found some shocks that are equal to that in force. They're just a touch longer, but everything else about them, yeah, I think it's close enough. 34 bucks for the two of them, so. This is terrifying. I don't remember how I got it out of here. Oh boy. Out and around. I should be able to just latch it into place here. Need to reinstall this roller here and this bracket. Okay. Well, the good news is, with a little bit of lube, this thing tracks up. Latch is fine. The bad news is, these struts will not work. I gotta come up with a plan B on that. And the same fellow that out of kindness sent this glass, sent a link, same thing. They're aftermarket shocks like this, but he thinks they would work in their place. So I'm gonna take this one off, leave the hardware. If it's your first video, welcome to the channel. I hope you subscribe and you stay tuned and you do all the fun stuff that is watching. I don't know, I guess that's fun. It seems like a good time. Some people like to do it. Seems like it. There's a handle. Got it. It's right there. It's been with us for a while. Then that old quick Kepler up there that's been floppy. I bet you're pretty happy to see that fixed up. Still be clanging around a little, but not near as bad as what it was. Top roller fixed, front glass replaced, and we'll get the right shocks tracked down. Next video is actually on the 555 loader. A little bit of a spoiler alert. We got the counterweight problem figured out, and I'm just waiting on the hoses to come in. We're gonna get those attached, and she'll be up and running. So that'll be the next video. And then we'll be back on the YouTube yacht because the trim we were missing showed up today. There you go. That's all I got for you. Should be enough, you know, I just should be enough. You're good. Everybody, everything's fine. It's all fine.